The last time we had a full grid of F1 sidecars, it was back in 1986 at Silverstone. But this year, a new breed is born, and we are at Pembrey, ready for the first round of the Euro F1 Sidecar Challenge.
Pembrey in South Wales is the venue for the opening round of the Euro F1 Sidecar Challenge, the former Spitfire base 1.45 mile circuit. Gorgeous day, we're looking forward to some great racing. Steve Day is down on the start line talking to Steve Webster.
Well, what better way to start this F1 sidecar season than to talk to a man who's got a wealth of knowledge in this class, Steve Webster, multi-world champion, MBE. It's a pleasure to be talking to you. What do you think of all of this coming to Thundersport GB?
Well, thanks for the intro. It's absolutely fantastic. It's the best thing that's happened to sidecar racing in the last 10 years, especially in England. I mean, it's everything that we need, and we're now in with the championship organiser, the Thundersport. They want us here, so it's a win-win situation for the sidecars. We've always been used to just like filling the grid, let's say, at meetings, and to actually now be in a situation where an organiser wants us, it's the start of something good, I'm sure.
Now, obviously, my sidecar knowledge is a little bit limited for now. There's a lot of sidecar guys trying to get me in the back of one at some point this season. We'll soon see about that. But perhaps you'd be kind enough to take us through what a sidecar is.
I will do, and I may even get my leathers back on to take you around. Sidecar, we've got 3 wheels. Got one of the wheels which the transmission is driven through the back wheel. The other wheel at the front is the one that the driver steers with. And then we've got the sidecar wheel, which has got no suspension, or it's got no drive on it, or it doesn't steer or anything. These chassis are aluminium monocoque type chassis, which are built by mainly Louis Christian in Switzerland. They're about 220 kilos in weight, and they're usually powered by a Suzuki engine or a Yamaha or Honda, the 4-stroke 4-cylinder engines of 1000 cc, something in the region of 180 to 200 horsepower in a tuned mode. In a standard, they're down to about 160. The rear wheel is driven by a chain from the engine, and the suspension is only on the front and the back wheel. Most of the suspension units are either IBAC, Öhlins or Maxton suspension. There's 3 different companies that do those. All the wheels have got disc brakes. They've all got good, really good, strong 4-pot caliper on the front and also on the back. And on the sidecar is a more smaller caliper. Brakes again are steel discs and with a carbon metallic brake pad. The exhausts, they point forwards from the engine and come forwards underneath the rider's legs, and then exit on the left-hand side of the outfit through a small hole in the fairing. The fairing also has an undertray underneath it, which helps with the aerodynamics of the bike. So at high speeds, you've got a lot of ground effect to a certain extent with the sidecars. That's a sidecar.
So there we have it, multi-world champion Steve Webster explaining what a sidecar is. There are some significant rule changes for 2010 as well, relating to the engines. Basically, world championship contenders will have to run standard engines. The British guys can run tuned ones, which should make it interesting. It's an 8-round series where we travel all over the country, culminating in the final round at Mallory Park at the end of October. As we say, the biggest sidecar series in this country that there's been for an awful long time. There's a lot of anticipation and interest looking forward to this series. We've got the best riders in the world here at the Pembrey circuit. So let's kick off now by going back into the paddock area where Steve is with the current world champions. Others who are going to explain their setup for 2010.
We're here with reigning world champions Ben and Tom Birchall. Ben, a fantastic start to the season here, a new dawn for sidecar racing. How pleased are you to be here?
Well, we're over the moon, to be quite honest. It's just a real breath of fresh air. We've not raced in the British Championship for the last couple of years because obviously we've been competing at the World Championship. So when we were approached and asked to be involved with it, we jumped at the chance. And you know what a fantastic professional outfit that it's proving to be.
And Tom, we'll move on to you as well. You know, since you've, I mean, it's 5 years since you were at Pembrey, and we were speaking earlier, and you said a lot's changed since then. Obviously, you're now world champions. What's it like being back out at Pembrey? I mean, obviously the weather's pretty handy.
It's fantastic to be here again. You know, there's so many good circuits in England. You forget, and also the competition that we've got this year. Yeah, it's going to be some championship to compete in, but it's great to be back here in front of our own fans.
It's obviously 1986 since we've had as many F1 sidecars on one grid. Ben, how are you feeling about Hatchett's hairpin first corner?
I don't really want to talk about it. I'll tell you after the race. It's just if we get through, we'll get through. But if not, I think it's sort it out as the race goes on. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't like to look behind and see all them charging in after us. We noticed in qualifying the amount of traffic out there. You know, it's great. It's great for sidecars, and it's great for the spectators that's come to watch as well.
And as a passenger, obviously, after you've exited Hatchett's hairpin, there's quite a bit of movement there for you.
Yeah, it's a busy little circuit, definitely for a passenger. From there, you've got a little right kink and then a big long left, and then just all rights after that. But at the back of the circuit there, it is quite fast and also very bumpy. But yeah, it's an exciting circuit to watch from.
Well, it's been great talking to you both, and obviously we'll catch up with you throughout the season. Good luck for this weekend.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you.
Right then, down to the action. We're going to have Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson do a lap of the circuit, and it's going to be talked through by Steve Day.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. And across the start-finish line we go. 1.45 miles of circuit here. Glorious day, very abrasive circuit. And this is the first corner that everyone in a sidecar's dreading, Hatchett's hairpin. 28 sidecars are going to be making their way through there. And then it's across to Spitfire. This, for a passenger, is definitely the most busy part of the circuit. Around to the right at Spitfires, and then this long left-hander to Benny. Slightly double apexed. And then as they, on the exit here, look at the sound of that sidecar roar as they make their way through to the S's. This really no room for overtaking here, but it's all about trying to get into the right position as they make their way through Brooklyn's hairpin here, and then with the right line, on with the power and down the speedway straight. Now coming up in a moment is that corner that Tom Birchall was talking about. This of course is the Woodlands, and then they make their way across into Honda Curve, which will be the final corner of the circuit, back onto the start-finish straight, and that's the lap of Pembrey.
That's a lap of the 1.45 mile Pembrey circuit. Looks easy, doesn't it? But it's certainly not, I can assure you, especially for the hard-working passengers. Meanwhile, the riders are taking to the line for the first race of the day. Sun is shining, the crowd are waiting for the action here. We are in for a big day's racing in what is being labelled the Battle of Britain. And it's exactly that, with the biggest lineup we've had in the UK for 20 years. On pole position in qualification, it was the Reeves and Cluze pairing, despite missing the opening practice session because of their van breaking down onto the way to the circuit. The Birchalls were in second, so straight away the big hitters are lining up head to head. This is the qualification that we had on Saturday. The riders are going to line up, though, following the Super Pole session that happened on late on Saturday, which dropped the Birchalls, in fact, down to fourth position. Reeves and Cluze were still on pole, with Schofield and Thomas and James and Morgan filling out the top three positions. So there we have it. That was the order going into Saturday. Meanwhile, we're getting ready for the first race of the day here as our gorgeous Thundersport singers entertain us in the sunshine. We're going for a very short break. Join us back ready for race one. Welcome back as we get ready for race one. Let's go back to Steve on the starting grid.
So we're here live, ready for the first round of the Euro F1 Sidecar Challenge. I'm on the grid with Steve Webster. Steve, this is going to be a cracking race.
Yeah, when you looked at yesterday's racing and some of the moves there, I can't wait to see this. For sure, it's going to be good.
If you just come with me, I'm just going to quickly go on to the front row. We've got Tim Reeves here on pole. Tim, if we could just grab you quickly, a fantastic race yesterday, pretty close battles with the Birchalls. You're looking for the same again today?
Yeah, definitely. We need to be earning some money so we can carry on the season. Unfortunately, we've lost some backing, so we're in dire straits here. So yeah, we need to be winning.
OK, well, good luck to you and Gregory. We're just going to move a little bit over this way. Obviously, we've got various people. I mean, talk us through who you think, who else is going to compete. I mean, obviously, we've got the Birchalls obviously had a bit of a mishap yesterday, didn't they?
Well, basically, yeah, what we had was Ben and Tom. They had a bit of an incident with Tim. They've been pushed back down onto the third row of the grid, so they're going to really want a good start from there. You can see they're fired up to get in this first corner.
Let's just quickly go and see if we can grab a word with the Birchalls. We've not got long. See what they thought about yesterday. Ben, yesterday a bit of a mishap over there. Looking to overcome that this today.
Yeah, hopefully we can put right what happened yesterday. You know, we're all aiming for the same bit of track, but I think I come off worse somehow. So we'll certainly be trying a lot harder today to get to that top step.
Well, thanks for talking to us and good luck for the race. And to be honest with you, I think that's all the time we've got to. Me and Steve are going to have to go, so it's my pleasure to introduce you to my co-commentator, Roger Warren.
Thanks, Steve. Back in the commentary box with me now. Steve, that incident that Reeves and Birchall had yesterday is setting things up very nicely for this first race.
It is indeed, and as Ben just said there, they were both aiming for the same bit of tarmac. Unfortunately, they're both in the same place as well, and Tim Reeves managed to get through it, put the Birchalls out, managed to obviously rejoin the circuit and get fourth on the grid, but yeah, it's really setting us up nicely.
Tim Reeves, a pole position man, as he said, a big incentive. He needs the money so that he can get through this series, having lost a backer recently. So there we have it. We're all ready to go on the first race of the season as they fire away from the straight. And it's the first turn that we're concerned about. Is everybody going to get through there? Into hatches we go, turn one, as the riders and the passengers get ready now. Arms waving there, see if they all get safely through. At the moment, it all looks okay. No incidents at the moment. The incident yesterday basically was where the Birchalls spun out and went back to fourth position. But straight away, it is Tim Reeves with his new passenger, Gregory Cluze, who hit the front. As we say, they need to win to finance their World Championship Series this year. Riding a new outfit this year, Steve. They've changed engine supplier, I believe.
Yep, they have. They've reverted to the Honda LCR for this season, and as Tim was saying, he's looking for some money, £1,500 if they get the most points from this weekend, will really help them along their way.
Well, of course, it hasn't started well with them having a problem with the van coming to the circuit in the first place this weekend, so that's extra expense for them. But, well, they're doing it all right at the moment. A long look behind there from Tim Reeves as he looks round behind to see who's coming up behind him. And it is the number 15 outfield of Schofield and Thomas on the LCR outfit who are in second place. And then, though, it is the current world champions, the Birchalls, there in third position. Don't forget, they were on pole, but then they got pushed down to fourth position courtesy of the first race on Saturday, the Super Pole race. So they've got some work to do. But at the front, it is the three-time world champion, the man who finished third in 2009 series, Tim Reeves, together with that new passenger, Gregory Cluze, the Frenchman, who has finished fourth and 7 in the World Series, so he's no mug, but they gelled together straight away. So at the moment, they're very happy with life. They like the new Honda engine, they like the LCR chassis and the Maxton suspension, and driver and passenger look like they've been together for an awful long time. Very smooth, but you can see, those of you who haven't seen sidecars before, there's an awful lot of work for those passenger. In fact, passenger is probably the worst name you could possibly give to this, because these guys are anything but passengers. They are working solidly for the whole race there, as you can see. Round turn one again, still third position at the moment for the Birchalls. They're still working hard, Ben and Tom. Ben, who started life as a passenger, as a lot of the drivers do, before moving across to the other side of the machine and taking control of the twist grip. They're in second place. It is still at the moment, though, Schofield and Thomas, the number 15 outfit. They are hanging in there. It's a very, very tight circuit. Difficult to overtake, Steve, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is very tight, but I have to say, hats off to the outfit of Alan Schofield and Steve Thomas. They've been in very good form all weekend, and they're looking like championship big hitters. They weren't expected to come in the top 3 this weekend, but there they are in between the Birchalls, who had a sort of slightly tentative start.
Tentative start, yeah, but I think there's going to be some action soon, because straight away the Birchalls can see Tim Reeves getting away at the front as the laps start to count down now. It's quite a short lap as we're going around here. Lap times of just under the 1 minute, so as you can see, a very short lap, and abrasive circuit too, so hard on tyres and on the outfits in general. But the top 3 you can see all in position there, and at the moment it is all under control.